Right, you're tuning in just as the cop is probably still buzzing Mohamed Salah's stand.
Yeah.
That new 2-year deal with Liverpool. Wow. Waves of relief, excitement, especially, with Arne Slot now taking over.
Definitely sets a positive tone.
But you, our listener, you're not just here for the headlines, right? You want the real story, the deep dive, what makes him tick off the pitch.
Absolutely. Forget the amazing goals for just a sec. We're peeling back the layers, looking at Mo Salah beyond Anfield. Think of it as your backstage pass.
Okay, so our mission today, unpack the key bits of Salah's life using our source material. We're talking big money, a very private family life, and, well, a house that sounds unique.
Let's just say it's not your average footballer's mansion setup.
Exactly. Okay, let's get into it. That new contract first.
Yeah, let's start there. The confirmation itself was huge news. 2 more years, and the figures flying around. Pretty staggering.
Staggering is the word. Reportedly around £350,000 a week. That puts him right up there, doesn't it? Elite level.
Undeniably. And what's really interesting, as our source points out, is Liverpool bending their usual rules.
Right. Their policy for players over 30, they usually don't go this big.
Exactly. So making an exception for Salah, it just underlines his importance, his value to the club.
Speaks volumes. And he sounds genuinely fired up, too, talking about winning more trophies. Music to the fans' ears.
For sure, he's not just winding down his career there. And this contract, it's just, well, another milestone in his financial story, which is pretty remarkable in itself.
Oh, absolutely. The overall wealth picture is kind of mind-blowing. Our source mentioned an estimated net worth.
Yeah, around $68 million, according to Celebrity Net Worth, via our source. It's a huge figure. It reflects his global status, really.
And that's not just the weekly wage, even one as massive as his current one.
Not at all. I mean, the Liverpool salary is obviously significant. They mentioned at least $18 million a year since 2022 and maybe $10 million annually before that. Big numbers.
Yeah, huge base. But then you add the sponsorships.
Right. That's where it goes to another level. Think about the brands lining up. Adidas, Pepsi, Vodafone, Audi was mentioned too. These are massive global companies.
Giants.
And then you've got image rights, other commercial deals. Some estimates, and these are just estimates, mind you, suggest maybe an extra £1 million a week.
Wow. £1 million a week on top.
Potentially, yeah, from all these commercial activities. It just shows the scale of brand Salah.
It really does. Puts him in that global icon bracket, financially speaking. Okay, so powerhouse financially. Let's switch gears a bit. His private life, his family, he seems to keep that very separate.
Which is quite interesting, isn't it, given how famous he is? Our source talks about his wife, Mohamed Salah.
They've been together a long time, right? Knew each other growing up.
Yeah, apparently from the same village back in Egypt. They got married in 2013, and she seems very deliberate about staying out of the limelight.
You don't see her much on social media, for instance. Prefers to keep things private, it seems.
Exactly, but she's still a supportive presence, often seen at Anfield cheering him on. Seems like a strong partnership, just private.
It does, and they have 2 daughters.
Yep, Makar, born in 2014, and then Kayan, who arrived in 2020.
And while Magi keeps a low profile, Salah himself, he does share little bits, doesn't he? Pictures with the kids on Instagram sometimes.
He does. Those moments often look really heartwarming, just glimpses of a normal family life away from all the football chaos.
It's a nice contrast, actually. In this age of oversharing, they seem to manage that balance quite well.
Agreed. Seems very grounded in that respect.
Okay, now for the bit I found really fascinating. His dedication to fitness. We all know he's incredibly fit, even now at 32, but the level of commitment, it extends right into his home setup.
Yes, this is where it gets quite intense. It really highlights what it takes to stay at the absolute top. Our source mentions him talking to France Football.
What did he say about his house?
He said, and I'm quoting loosely here, 2 rooms in our house are dedicated to different fitness machines, bodybuilding. 2 whole rooms.
Not just a Peloton in the corner there.
Not quite. And it gets more high-tech. He also admitted having cryotherapy at home.
Cryo at home? Seriously?
And a hyperbaric chamber, too.
Wow. Okay, that's like elite training facility stuff. In his house?
Pretty much like a mini sports science lab. He apparently joked his house looks like a hospital.
Huh. I love that. Did his wife agree?
Well, the source mentions Magi jokingly saying he spends more time with his machines than with her.
That's brilliant. You can imagine that conversation. But seriously, it shows this relentless drive, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's not just about looking fit, it's about
Yeah.
optimizing everything. Recovery, strength, conditioning, maintaining that edge.
That explosive speed, that agility,
Yeah.
year after year. It takes that kind of almost obsessive dedication.
It underpins everything else, really. The success on the pitch, the big contracts, the sponsorships. It all stems from that physical foundation he works so hard on.
Truly the mindset of a top athlete.
No doubt about it.
What parts of Salah's story from this deep dive today resonate most when you think about achieving success?
Definitely some food for thought there. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
We'll be back soon with another one.